Hello everyone, myself Suraj, Senior Geologist, GSI Chennai. This is a short video regarding Google Earth Engine. So this Google Earth Engine is a platform for satellite imagery data analysis and analysis of other geospatial data sets in a planetary scale. That means you can in a go you can analyze the satellite image of the whole Earth also in continental scale analysis. And here what it does is it already has a collection of satellite imageries such as Landsat, MODIS, Sentinel, other imageries also. So what it does is it uses code means it's a code written in JavaScript programming language or Python programming language. So using code we develop some algorithms for analyzing this satellite imagery, and this we also deployed as web applications to serve the end users such as some government organizations or some other organization which are involved in the public good such as flood mapping, landslide mapping, like that. So here if you see, they are having many data sets. I will show you here. This is Google Earth Engine's website. You see the data sets. You can see many data sets as surface temperature, MODIS disaster. Then you have this Landsat, Sentinel, and MODIS. You have also some geophysical data and land cover data as well. So this is the data. There are many data sets available in Google Earth Engine, and here if you see, there the researchers mostly used Google Earth Engine to analyze their analyze the satellite imagery and come up with their publications in scientific journals. They have and also they have some of them have created some interactive map which can be deployed to conserve some certain wildlife and habitats, you have global forest watch, tiger habitat monitoring. So these are all done with Google Earth Engine, and most of them have their publications in leading journals also. And then if you see this some apps, basic apps you can see here. This is in Earth Engine apps website. If you go, you can see some simple web applications. This is one such web application known as Ocean Time Series Investigator. In this app, what it does is it analyzes the surface temperature of oceans for a given location for a given period. In this app, you can see here there's a dot. This is the location for which they have given this plot showing the variation in temperature over the months of 2017. So similarly, this is I think the so if you want to see some other points, some other location, for example Arabian Sea here near India, if you click a point, it will generate a chart showing the variation in ocean temperature for that particular point. So if you see that the highest temperature is around May 13th. So this is such one such simple web application where you can deploy your analysis for other users, such as you can see another one, global population explorer, where they give the population wise comparison of different continents, some different countries. So you can see population density. They are generating the maps for population density, and if you click any region such as anywhere, any country, it will generate another chart showing the population of that country, and if you can compare with other countries by clicking somewhere else on the map. So this is two countries they have given, and this application has plotted one bar chart showing the population distribution with two different countries. So likewise you can do any create any web applications using Google Earth Engine. So this is the, and in order to sign up with this Google Earth Engine, you just need to have a Google account. If you log in with Google account, then they will ask for some of your information, and you can give that information, and it will generate a authentication code that also you can give there for signing up. It is a simple, pretty simple process for signing up. So I have already signed in here. Now let us see how to program in Google Earth Engine. Basically, you can program using either JavaScript programming language or Python programming language. So here, if you want to program in the browser, therefore there already has a window for programming in Google Earth Engine. Here they use JavaScript, or using Python you have a different setup that will not be like this one. You have a different setup for using Python in with Google Earth Engine. Here I will be showing how to use JavaScript programming language. So here you can see this is the script window where you write the programs, and the output of these programs will be generated in the console tab here. This is the console tab. You can print things in the console tab, and also you can search for the datasets, satellite datasets here, and after searching it will be added to the script window, and you can also display those maps in this window. In this one, in the bottom half of the window, you can see the satellite maps which you are importing in the script. So I will go to that one later. First of all, let us see how to use this JavaScript programming language. So JavaScript is basically a programming language designed for giving functionalities to the web browser. So here this is a simple programming language. So here first of all we will see how to print something to the console, which is in the console tab here, the right side. So if you want to print some text, or we'll call it a string. So if you want to print something like print hello world, okay. So this is how we print a string to the in the JavaScript programming language. If you run this one, you can see this hello world. This is a string that is printed in the console. This is the output of this command print. The print command, this is the syntax. Syntax means the way of writing some code. So print followed by open brackets. Within that one, if it is string, we will have to enclose within a single quotes. So that will be that if you give it as a single quotes, then the program will identify that whatever you are writing within the single quotes is a string. So this is a string, and if you want to print some numbers, what you can do is you can store those numbers in some variables. Variables means like var x equals to 10. So storing the number 10, we are declaring a variable. This is known as a declaring a variable with the prefix var. So this x is a variable. This will take any number. This can also take strings also. This can also take numbers also. Here let us see how to print some numbers. So I am storing this number in this variable called x, and you can print the number. So here you don't have to give in single quotes. You can simply print x. So it will print the value of x in the console. This value of x is 10. So 10 is stored in the variable x, and thereafter it is printed in the console using print command. So here also you can store strings also, like hello So when you give strings, it will be in single quotes. So I have given a string hello, and this string will be stored in the variable x, and if you run that one, then the string will be printed here. So this is how you store some numbers or strings in variables. So another thing is we can add two numbers here. Suppose we have to add two numbers, we can write variable x equal to 10, and the second number we can store in another variable called y is equal to 20. Then we can this will be, every line will be ended with a semicolon. Then you can store the sum of this one in another variable called z. So z equal to x plus y. One thing to be noted that here is that you have not mentioning prefixing var before x and before y, because already it is declared in the above two lines. Once it is declared, then you don't have to declare in the next lines. So z was not declared, so I have written variable z is equal to x plus y. Then if you print the value of z, it will show the sum of x plus y, which is 30. So if you run this one, it will give the output as 30. And this, so you can print directly also without storing in the variable z, such as you directly print x plus y, x plus y. This also will give the same result, 30. So we can also do subtraction, minus, that will give minus 10. You can also do multiplication, division, everything. Multiplication with star, the symbol is star, operator is star, it will give 200, and division is backslash, again 0.5. This is how we do addition. So and print the results of the operation here. And another thing is that you can also combine these two, strings and numbers. Like if you see variable age equal 30, and you print, you are printing a string and this number, how we will see, how we will print this both string and number together. Like if you want to print your age, so you write my age is, then you get a plus. Okay, to concatenate these two, we add a plus here, plus age. Okay, what the result will be, you can see here, my age is 30. So here you can see we have printed out one string, my age is a string, this is a string, and you have combined it with one number, age is a number here. The value of 30 is stored in the variable age, and this is how we can print both string and number. The next thing what you have to see is functions. Functions, if you see, functions are basically carrying out, in order to simplify some operations, we make it as a function, so that you don't have to repeat those operations every time. For example, if you add two numbers, like variable x equal to 10, variable y equal to 20, and then if you write print x plus y, okay, if you run, you will get 30. Then if you want to assign a new value to x and another new value to y, we simply have to again repeat this one, variable x equal to 30, variable y equal to some other number 40, then again you will have to print x plus y, We'll simply copy from here now, like this one. Otherwise you can store in different variables also. Variable a equal to this one, variable b equal to this one, a plus b. That will give a different result. So if you get two different results, one is for this one 30 and 70. So if you want to add many different numbers, instead of writing this code again and again, or we can wrap this within a function. We can wrap this addition within a function. Like this function, what it does means it will accept two numbers as arguments. So function has an argument. What it does means it takes two numbers and returns something. The function takes some arguments and returns some values. So how we will define a function, I will show you. Variable addition. So we are going to write a function which will add two numbers. So function will be defined like this. Function of, first let us remove this one. This is how we write function. Function of, you will take two numbers. For example, I will give like x. This has nothing to do with this one. This I will delete first. Function. So take two numbers, number 1, number 2. Can give any like x, y, a, b, number 1, number 2, anything like that. The function, what is a function means, and this one will calculate the sum of two numbers x and y. So for what the function do is it will return the sum of x plus y. So what this function is doing means it is returning the sum of two numbers. These two numbers we will pass it from some other places in the script. So in one place we will define this function, then you will pass the values of this x and y in other places in the script. So we can reuse this same function to add two different numbers each time. So this function also will, since this function is returning some sum of two numbers, this sum of two numbers has to be stored in a variable. So what we have to do is we will give variable addition equal to function of xy, return xy. So what this function will do, this will accept two numbers x and y and return the sum of x plus y, which will be stored in this variable addition. This is how we define a function. So now what we will do, if you see, if you want to add two numbers, so what you can do is addition. This is the name of the function, addition. Addition 2, 5. So addition, this is the argument, x is 2 here, y is 5. So if you write addition 2, 5, so what it does means it will store the value of x in 2, y as 5 and return the sum of this one. So if you write the function here and run, there is nothing. What you will just print here, print whatever it is returning, what the function is returning. Okay, now we can see the addition is returning, addition function is returning the sum of x plus y, that is 2 plus 5, and that is printed onto the console here, 7. So if you want to add other two numbers, here is 9 and 19. Simply press run, you can get the other numbers. So earlier we don't have to declare other variables for storing new numbers like we did before. We don't have to again and again define other variables for storing new numbers. So simply you can define a function with only two variables like x and y. So we can reuse the function in any part of the script. So this is what is known as a function. So these are the main things what you have to know for writing code in JavaScript. There are also similar other built-in functions within the Earth engine. Here you can, these are all functions. If you go to docs, these are all functions within the Earth engine. Okay, this is terrain data. Each one has several other functions. Data.add, authenticate. These are all other different functions. Thousands of functions like that. So for image analysis, you can use such type of functions, which I will be showing. We will be showing some functions here while doing the satellite imagery analysis. Next, one more thing what you have to see is data types. How Google Earth Engine stores data, and this is data can be stored as different types like a list or dictionaries. First of all, see what is a list. For example, if you have to store some color names, you can store it as a list. So list will start with a square bracket, then names of the colors you can give as a string: red, yellow, blue, green. So I have given these 4 colors. So we can also store numbers in a list. So for example, if you want to store some marks, and the marks a student scored, so mark can give variable marks equal to 90, 95, 75, etc. You can also store numbers within a list. So how to access the values within a list is, if you want to access the color red, what you can do is color of 0. So what this 0 means is, 0 is the index of the element within the list. So this you have to access the element red. So the index of the element red is 0. That is, this, if we have 4 elements within this list, so the index of the first element will be 0, second will be 1, third will be 2, and the fourth will be 3. So if you want to access color red, you have to give the position means index of this color red. So if you give 0, it will print. Okay, sorry. You have to also note the spelling also. The way it is, the color is, the variable is colors and not color. So if you have to rectify that and run, then you can see it is printed as red. So if you want to print blue, then it will be 0, 1, 2. It will be the second index position, 0, 1, 2. To access the third element, it will be the second index position. So it is blue. Similarly, you can store marks like variable marks equal to 30, 40, 50, 60. The marks will be stored as numbers. Instead of this one, you can remove this one and write simply 30, 40, 50, 60. So this is how we access list. We store things in list and access those lists. And next is we want to this next is dictionary. So dictionary is way of storing, another way of storing values. Here we have a key value pair. Like for example, if you want to store the marks of students for some particular subject, we can store it as a dictionary. You can marks equal to, dictionary will be started with a curly brackets. So list what you do, it will be within a square bracket. This will be within a curly bracket. So here marks, and the first subject will be English. English is a string. The marks of the English 845. Next subject will be science. Marks will be stored as numbers 42, and next will be max. Max will be stored as also numbers. 46. Next is for computer science. Marks will be 41. Okay, this is how we provide a dictionary. This is how we define a dictionary and how to access the elements within dictionary. This print marks of, this will be in square brackets, not in curly brackets, marks of string English, marks of English. And to print the marks of English, then we will give it like this: marks square brackets of English. So what is this command doing is this printing the marks of the key English. This is not the key. English is the key here, and 45 marks is the value here. So this is a key value pair, English 45. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 key value pairs. So in order to access the value of this one, we have to give the key. So marks inside the square bracket, if you give the key English, this will print the value only, value 45. You run this one, you get the 45. So if you want to print the marks of any other subject, simply print from the marks of max will be printing as 46. Marks obtained for max is 46. Another way also you can write, instead of giving it as a square bracket, simply dot and English. You run this one, it will give 45. Okay. So there are two ways to access the values within a dictionary. One is within square bracket, and another one method is by simply putting a dot after marks. So the two max will be 46. And another thing is we can also store dictionaries within dictionaries. For example, you have 3 science subjects like physics, chemistry and biology. So we want to store marks for physics, chemistry, biology separately within this dictionary itself. So we can declare another, we can also give another dictionary within this dictionary. So there will be another square curly brackets within this dictionary. This main dictionary is this one. Within that we are going to give another dictionary for science. So science, you have 3 subjects: physics is marks 24, and you have chemistry have marks 26, and you have biology marks 23. You close this one. You have to be careful with the codes, single codes that you are giving here. So you have stored the marks of physics, chemistry and biology within the science. This is the key. Now this key has a value as a dictionary. So there are keys within keys. So we have to access the marks of physics. What you have to do is now marks dot science dot physics will give the marks of physics as 24. Okay, and you can also get the marks of biology like that, 23. You can also give like earlier what we did was in square brackets we used to access the value using the key, like when to access the marks of science, physics, like this. There will be 2 square brackets, then simply physics. This will give 24. Okay, So this is how we can access the values of dictionary within another dictionary. Okay, so these are the two major data types. One is the list and next one is the dictionary. One more thing what you have to see is how to give comments in the code. So comments are we use comments when you have a very lengthier code and you don't want to make it easier to understand what the code is doing in several if you write a lengthier code in today and if you go through the code after 1 or 2 months, you may not be knowing what some parts of the functions are doing in the code. So you simply give a comment before the code. It is like an symbol, like an abstract what this part of the code is going to do. For example, you are writing a function print hello. So here this is only one line. So you don't have to write any comments. But if it is a function with around 50 or 60 lines of code, so you and there will be several different functions within that function also. So you want to see what functions are doing what job. So you will simply write a comment. So comment how we will write, it will begin with a backslash, two backslashes, and you will simply write this will print hello world. So you can see this is in different color and green color. So if you run this one, the first line will not be executed, only the second line will be executed, because leaving two backslashes, the this will come to know that this is a comment. So you can print anything, you can write anything here, it will not be printed in the console. So if you want to do multi-line comments, for example, you want to, this is only in a single line. So if you want to give it in 2 lines, now you can see this is not a comment, color has changed to black, and you can see a red cross. So you cannot identify what this is not a command, this is not a comment, this is not a function, nothing else. So we will define a multi-line comment here. Multi-line, how we will define is slash with star, then star with slash. So you can see those 2 lines are commented out. Okay, so this is how you give comments in a code. And if you have any doubt regarding this coding, this introduction to coding, you can go to Google Earth Engine documentation, this one, documentation. Then if you can go to this one, introduction to JavaScript for Earth Engine, introduction. So there you will see what we have gone through, like printing, this one, then about data types, strings and numbers, then how to provide list, objects, then functions. These all things we have seen. And one more thing is regarding this one, Earth Engine objects. These will see in the later part of the video, in the second part. There we can define some Earth Engine objects. So what this does is actually what we did earlier was defining some functions for addition and defining some dictionaries and all. Those are basically objects only, but those are within our local server, local browser. And that means there are not much calculations, only simple calculations, so that we can the local server will take care of that one. So if you want to do some calculations for thousands of images, those calculations will be pixel wise calculations, and each image will be large size, very large size. So when you do calculation for thousands of images, you will need a greater processing power, which your local computer or laptop will not be having that processing power. So what the search engine object will do, this will act as a container, and we will take the functions from the browser, and it will it has its own functions. So it will calculate the image calculations. It will do in greater speed because it is calculating in the cloud server, where there are a lot of resources for doing this calculation. There are a lot of computers with great processing powers. So this is what is Earth Engine objects will do. So you will see in the later part of the video. And this is all regarding the introduction to coding in Google Earth Engine. Thank you.